Hello, is anyone there? Is the board on? It's Marquez from Macro.
I mean, it's been, 2 years since I think we spoke for season 1, and now we're back looking at each other on a screen again.
So. We were locked in a cubby hole for about 18 months of it.
Yeah.
So they let us out.
Yeah. We survived.
Not that you care, but we're here. We exist.
We can definitely talk spoilers, so I'm going to dig into some episode-specific questions with the both of you. But Tramell, I wanted to start with you because of this season, Milchick gets promoted. He gets a big, because sort of, I would imagine, a pay bump, but he's, the new floor manager. How is he adjusting to this sort of nudge up the food chain? Or, how does his new role come with new complications?
He has to adjust quick. We're still in a state of panic right now because when we start season 2, we pick up from the chaos that happened in season 1. And so he's been having to clean up his mess since he introduced the OTC, overtime contingency, and that blew up in his face. So now he's been tapped to kind of go ahead and lead this charge. So the pressure is on and he's got to deliver. And we see with his kindness reforms, whether or not he's effective.
Patricia, your character is sort of on the outside looking in when we pick up with her at the beginning of season 2. Do you think she's kind of second guessing her role in everything that's kind of brought her to this point? Or do you feel like she's trying to figure out how she can get out of this situation with any power?
Yeah, I think she's having like an interior cyclone happening. She's incredibly angry at their lack of loyalty. She has this different vision that's more in keeping with Kier's purity into the future with technology, where she doesn't really believe in this new guard of Lumon today, this James and Helena kind of Lumon. And she's pissed at him. She feels backstabbed and betrayed, and so that she's walking the line between wanting to destroy Lumon and also wanting them to let her back in because it's her home and everything she's known. So it's a very complicated experience for her.
Tramell, I want to ask you about working with Sarah as Miss Wong this season. And how do you feel like she kind of keeps Milchick on his toes a little bit? What do you enjoy about getting to bounce off of her in your scenes together?
Sarah's lovely to work with. She's so bright and has an incredible future ahead of her. She's just brilliant. And I think Milchick's relationship to Miss Wong is not as friendly. I think he's a little offended that essentially a teenager has come in and taken his old job. And it's like, what is Lumon saying about me? Like, really? Is this what we're doing? And she's not quiet about it. Miss Wong is needling her way into my business, challenging my techniques. And it's enough. Enough is enough. Like, stop. Okay. You just got here. Okay. So it's fun to see that power dynamic between the two of them and how, she constantly is keeping him in check. But, on a whole grand scheme, if you look at it, she's doing the right thing because Milchick is doing things that he shouldn't be doing. And she's just correcting him for that. It's like, no, you need to do this, or you need to stop doing it that way. But Milchick doesn't want to hear that. So,
Patricia, I did want to ask you about that moment in the parking lot between Cobel and Helena, because it feels like initially Helena might be offering a bit of an olive branch, but it feels like your character picks up on something, gets a bad vibe. She turns away from it in that moment. What does she see in that, either in Helena's face or the moment itself, that causes her to think twice about what's being offered to her?
Yeah, she gets this feeling inside that it's like a trap. That it's not real. There's something punitive going on. I feel like Helena has the capacity to have this incredible coldness in real life. And she is the kind of air and grown up in this kind of incredible privilege. And I think in that moment, Harmony realizes it's never going to be what she wants it to be, at least not like this. She has to come back with something different. She has to have more to hold over their head, more to negotiate with. It's not going to work out like this for her, the way she wants.
Tramell, I wanted to just wrap up by asking you about the Orbot episode and the fallout that we see Milchick kind of going through with his performance evaluation, but it all really culminates in the speech that he gives himself in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you about that grow up speech and what you think that kind of represents for him in that moment. Like, what is he really trying to tell himself there?
Well, it goes back to what we were saying before about the cost of leadership and this position that he is in now. He hasn't had the formal training, if you will, to be able to handle this kind of pressure. And the stakes are so incredibly high at this moment. And knowing that he has let the board down, he has let his immediate supervisors down, he identifies so much with this organization, this corporation. It's who he is. So for him, it is mustering up the strength, the will to be able to push forward, to challenge himself, and to be able to carry out what he needs to carry out. Because, we also understand that there is a task at hand when it comes to Mark. There's this duty that he has to fulfill. He has to meet the quota. And Milchick is the one that is responsible for ensuring that he meets the quota in that time. So he really is pulling himself up and pushing himself to tighten the leash and move forward.
All of these things that we do as humans, like to be liked, to have other people, the way that we think leadership is, the way that we think things should be done, and how we make a connection with someone and try to, work together in this kind of way. These structures are like, these are the rules. There is no feeling. This is the way you do things. And that's what we need. And it doesn't matter if it's complicated or not. And that's so much easier said than done, I think, when you're the one who's supposed to deliver this.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good sentiment to end on. But thank you both so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. It's always good to see both of you, especially getting to talk about this incredible show. But thank you both for your time.
Thanks.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you.